Special one today. We've reached a milestone. It's 150. 150 today. We're going to do something special, but the way that it's turned out, it's not been special. It's just another day in paradise for me, to be honest. And I'm talking about the Euros 2024 that's going on in Germany right now. Now, I've been getting up at 4 o'clock. I mean, I usually get up at 5 o'clock because I'm working online at 5:30. But getting up that hour early, it's not really bothering me. Or it didn't bother me because I've been an expat for so long. So I've been doing this for 25 years. And out of that 25 years, it has only worked once in my favour. And that's in 2002 when I was living in Australia. And the time difference in the games were only about an hour or two when I was living in Sydney. And the World Cup were in Japan and Korea. England balls that up as well. So this time, the World Cup's in Germany, the European Cup's in Germany. So you've got a game at 11, 1 and 4. Now the 4 o'clock isn't a problem. Now me being living the life of a pensioner, I'm usually in bed at 9:30. So every now and again, when I'm not working in the morning, like a Saturday morning or Sunday morning, I'll stay up for the 10 o'clock game. Can't be a problem. Now, England have not played in that 10 o'clock slot. Not once. Not fucking once. So, I've not been able to watch an England game. They played the Serbia game at 4 o'clock in the morning. I watched that. What a waste of fucking time that was. And then Denmark. Denmark were 1 o'clock. And you know what? Thank God it were 1 o'clock because it didn't seem I missed much. I watched the highlights and it seems to me that they had to stretch that out a bit. God knows the fella in the editing booth there is worth his weight in gold trying to make that game look interesting. And then we come to tomorrow. Now I left the whole Euro 2024 episode until we were about a week in, at least a week in, until I made a podcast about it because it's always the same. It's always the same, whether it be the World Cup in Brazil, in Russia, or in Qatar, always the same. If it's the Euros in 2000, the Euros, in France, always the same. I mean, we have got better. We have got better over years, but we're never going to get across that line. We're never going to get across that line. It's always the same. What you get, this is a copy and paste of what happens at every tournament. So, every tournament, before the tournament, you think, oh, they'll fuck it up again. They'll fuck it up again. So I'm not going to get into it this time because it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. So I don't get into it. And then you listen to podcasts or you read stuff on internet and it's well, we've got these players now, they could do a job for us. And you're thinking, no, they can't. They can't do a job for us. Get that idea out of your head. And then, you're about a week or two before, and then, but if he puts him in this 4-4-2 formation and he brings him in on right, we can deal with any sort of defensive issues there, filling that gap on right-hand side. And you're listening to it, you think, yeah. And this is about 3 days before, you think, fuck, it could be our time. It could be our time. And then there's the first game. Now, I know that Gareth's won his opening games last few times. I mean, Iran, 6-2. It's fucking Iran. It's Iran. You should be beating Iran. And then we played USA, which was criminal that, you don't get sacked mid-tournament for that. That 0-0 against USA. That was awful. Awful game. And so you sort of limp. If you're an England fan, England sort of limp through half-arsed in preliminary stages, and they get into the next round. Now, this is where they give you false hope. This is what England do best. Usually, the first game in the last 16 or the last 32 at World Cup, they usually play really well, and you think, fucking hell, we've got something here. We've got something here. And then you've got like a week before they play again. Before they play again in quarterfinals, or if you're in Euros last 16. And you've got that game. Now, when we got to the World Cup semi-finals in Russia, and we were playing Croatia. Now, that week before that Croatia game, I was thinking to myself, this is done. World Cup final. I know we're playing France, but we're going to be World Cup final. I've got a good friend, my friend Fred, who lives in Paris, lives in the Meudon district of Paris. I got in touch with him. We were going to have a Skype call, as it was then, because Zoom wasn't so popular. We were going to get a Skype call, get it set up. His wife was pregnant. My kids were small. They didn't really know what was going on. But we were going to get up as a family and watch the World Cup final with my French friend Fred. And it were all arranged. I thought, I can't believe it. We'll get through this Croatia easy enough. And I was looking forward to the World Cup final. And then they lost. They fucking lost. No apologies. They just lost. They fucking shit the bed like they always do. And you feel like, I don't know how to put it, but you know you're getting fucked. But you don't realise you're getting fucked until it's done. If you know what I mean. I suppose if you're a woman and you've got a boyfriend who's a bit off, you know he's fucking with you, but you're giving him benefit of doubt. That's what it's like being an England fan. You get your hopes up. A World Cup final. So in 2018, I was 47 years old. I thought, I've never seen England win anything. I've not seen them win anything. In 2018, I'd seen them at a semi-final in 1990. I'd seen them at a semi-final in 1996. They played West Germany in 1990. They played Germany in 96, and they fucked it up both times. They ruined a perfectly good fucking day by losing. I was working for the Yorkshire Evening Post in 1996, and we were doing evening print off, and the paper was rolling, and we were printing off the Financial Times, and this was the Scotland edition. Now, the people who printed the Scotland edition were Scottish, and I'm not Scottish, and they were just wanting England to fucking lose. But there was no internet then. We had a radio, but you couldn't hear it because the rollers were going, printing off the Financial Times. So these Scottish fellas what they did was they would spit on the paper. Now, when you see it in a printing press, a newspaper going around, it's long sheets of paper, and it's just printing off, going as fast as you like. Now, all you've got to do to split that paper is just spit onto the paper. If you spit onto the paper, it immediately feels the moisture and it rips the paper. So then you've got about 30 minutes feeding the paper all the way through the rollers and lining it up again and setting off the printer. So the Scottish fellas, they wanted England to lose against Germany, but they wanted me to see it. They wanted me to watch it, they wanted me to see it, and they wanted to laugh at me when I got back if they lost. And I said, they're not going to lose, they'll be playing the Czechs in final. They're not going to lose. So I forget his name. Anyway, he spit on paper and it just tore. He said, right, come back in 40 minutes. And I think we were about half an hour left at second half. And off I went. And it were 1-1 and it went to extra time. And it were golden goal back then. So if either team scored, the game stops and that's the winner. A fucking great way to sort a game out, the golden goal. I don't know why they stopped it. It was fucking brilliant. A cross came in, Gaza slid to it. How he missed that goal. How he missed that goal, I'll never know. And you're thinking, yep, this is it. This is it again. This is it. It's all happening again. So it goes to penalties. Everybody scores. Gareth Southgate steps up, the current England manager, and he misses, and we're out again. Now in 1990, we're a bit different in 1990 because I were 19-year-old, and the first real World Cup that I was being aware of were 82, but nobody stopped school for an England game then, so you missed all the England games because they were happening in Spain, and the teacher wasn't going to say get yourself off home for England games. So 82, I were 11, it sort of passed me by. 86, Mexico. That was the one I first remembered. And we lost to that fucking Maradona wonder goal and the hand of God. So, you kind of think, well, that fucker cheated. And then 96 rolls around. So I wasn't really I'd not really got used to the amount of disappointment England can provide for you if you're willing to accept it. So the we beat Belgium. David Platt scored that goal. We beat Belgium. That put us into the semi-finals. West Germany. Germany scored first. Paul Parker ran at a free kick. It sort of cannoned over him. It hit him on the leg. It cannoned over him and went straight over the back of Peter Shilton into the back at net. 1-0. And I were in Bridlington, of all places. I were in Bridlington, called the Harbour's End or something like that, in a pub there. And we were watching game, and then Gary Lineker fucking scored. The place went bananas. This was us fucking... All we need is another goal, and we're in World Cup final against Argentina. Them fuckers that had cheated 4 years before. And again, penalties. Fucking penalties. The first two were scored. Stuart Pearce stepped up, he missed. The hard man of England. The fucking hard man of England, he missed. And then there were another one that went in. Germany scored all their penalties, I remember. And then Chris Waddle. Chris Waddle put the ball down. He walked back and then he gave the referee a finger as if to get away from fucking ball. And he kicked it, skied it, went over crossbar, we're out. We're fucking out. Up to that point in my life, at 19-year-old, I'd never been so disappointed in my entire life. Bradford City at 1-0. I wasn't aware of Bradford City again. Any sort of promotion. They'd been promoted in 85 after fire, and it was 90. So in 4 years, they'd not been promoted. I've not seen any success there. England had just been knocked out at semi-final. So, disappointment. So there's your foundations. There's your foundations. And so 19, so that would have been 1990. We are now in 2024. We are 34 years later, and there's still been no success for England. I've still not seen any England player lift a trophy from 1990. And my friend Fred, he's from France. 2 World Cups, European Cup. This pisses me off. It pisses me off. Am I gonna go through my entire life and not see my country lift a trophy? Portugal have lifted it. Fucking Greece. Fucking Greece. Goat herders. Goat herders that eat fucking cheese. Greece have won it. Fucking Greece have won it. Believe that. And we aren't. And I know everybody's harking back to 1966. How long ago was that? And you don't fucking shut up about it. Can you imagine Uruguay won the World Cup even further back than us. You never hear them going on about it. They won it twice. They won it twice and it was World Cup. They won it twice. Maybe 3 times. But they've won it more than us. You don't hear them fucking banging on about it. They're going on fucking 66. Fuck 66. You know what my mum and dad did when World Cup were on in 1966? They were in Cornwall all day. They went for a walk. They didn't know what the fuck were going on. They went for a walk. And when I think back now, when I were in my 20s, I say, why'd you go for a walk for? Why didn't you watch it? When I think back now at 53, I say, I think that's the best option for me. I don't have to get up at 4 o'clock and watch it. I might get up at 4 o'clock and go for a fucking walk. I think that's going to be the best all round because I know I'm going to come back 90 minutes later and England are going to be out. I mean, everybody's moaning about the fucking team in England, which they always do. They should be doing this, they should be doing that. Everybody's listening to pundits. Gary Lineker said, oh, the shit. Gary Lineker, the queen mother of fucking football, said England are shit. Harry Kane's playing well, what has he ever won? So this the players and ex-players are arguing amongst each other. So there's all that bullshit. What are you getting caught up with that for? So it just leads me to believe that it's going to be one of these damp squibs again. At least it's not going to be Rio 2014. Fucking Jesus Christ. We were in a group with Italy. And you just looked at the group and you think, well, England and Italy are going to get out of this group. Neither of us did. We didn't even get out of the group. Well done, Roy. And then 2016 Euros, we got knocked out by Iceland, the mighty Iceland. Well done, Roy. And then 2018, your fucking hopes are up. The semi-final of the World Cup and you've got Croatia, the easy side of the fucking draw. And you've got Croatia to get through. And there's the World Cup final. We got beat. Fuck you. We got beat. 2020 or 2021 World Cup. You know, you've got one fucking test. One test to get through. That's it. Just the one test. And it's France. It's 2-1. Harry Kane's getting a penalty in the 85th minute. It's 2-1. It's going to be 2-2. You're taking it to extra time. And then we've got him. Skies it. I don't think he's missed a penalty since. That's what England does to you. I mean, should I be this fucking grey? I know there's a lot of shit going on in my life, but I think there's at least 150 grey hairs in my head because of England. Now, we've got Slovenia tomorrow morning at 4 o'clock. We're already through because Spain beat Albania yesterday. So even if we lose to fucking Slovenia by 5-0, we're still going to go through as one of the best third places. So we can even afford to lose to Slovenia. If we draw, Denmark win and we go through in second, we play Germany. That doesn't really turn out well. It has turned out well the last few times, but I think they're finding the form now, Germany, and they're coming back. So let's not play them. I don't know, Austria. If Austria come third, we might get them. And the way Ralph Rangnick got treated at Manchester United, he might just think, let's just steamroll these fuckers. He might be all out to get his own back. So it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. But, I am now thinking, fuck it. I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. And I've not got my hopes up. That's the trick. That's the trick being an England fan. Don't get your hopes up. And I am. I've expected it to be shit. It's been shit. It's been shit. I mean, what I would give for another Euro 96, you know, that Scotland game, that Gaza goal, the way they played against Holland, you know, McNamara to Sheringham, and he laid it off to Shearer, fucking bang, top bins, 4-1. We let Holland score so Scotland couldn't get through. Fucking brilliant. That Euros, it didn't rain once that summer. I mean, Terry Venables had just recently died, but that fucker needed giving the keys to the country. He made that summer fun. Oasis were at the fucking pinnacle. Britpop were there. We had a football tournament in his country. And England were fucking doing good. We drew with Switzerland. We beat Scotland. Then we beat Holland. And then we played Spain. And it went to penalties. And we beat Spain on penalties. And then Germany. And as usual, we fucked it up against Germany. Now, this was in Euro 96, that was our first tournament since 1990 because we balls the qualifying up for the USA 94 World Cup. We didn't get to USA 94 because we didn't qualify. We were shite at that. Couldn't even qualify. Graham Taylor didn't even get us qualified. And instead, every Irish heritage person like myself, you know, with a name like Walsh, we followed Ireland, and Jack Charlton were in charge of Ireland at the time. This old Geordie took no prisoners, and that first Irish game, they played Italy. Ray Houghton, he got that ball, he just volleyed it over at keeper. What a fucking game that was! And everybody were out supporting Ireland then, and it were a great tournament because it wasn't my country, and you weren't expecting much. That World Cup were probably the funnest World Cup I can remember because everybody were supporting Ireland, everybody were drinking Guinness, there were Ireland shirts all over the place, there were no pressure because our team, there were no bitterness in the country. There were no bitterness in the country because we weren't there. It were, yeah, when I look back, that was probably my favourite World Cup, USA 94. John Aldridge just shouting at the fourth official because he wouldn't let him go on. You're a fucking cheat! That just beamed all around the world. Hot mic on. Jack Charlton's fucking giving the fourth official a load of shit. He got banned from touchline. He was throwing water on pitch because the lads were flaking. Great tournament. I just think that's the trick. There you go. We've got somewhere in this podcast. The best way to enjoy a tournament, if you're an England fan, be it World Cup or European Championship, is not for England to qualify. I can't believe I've just come up with that. My favourite World Cup was USA 94, and it's because England weren't there. Well, there you go. It's taken me 40 odd years of following England to come up with that conclusion. All this time, all this fucking time, all this fucking disappointment, and all I had to do was not support England. So, if England have a good tournament, they have a good tournament. They're not going to win it. They're not going to win it. They'll might give us a couple of good games, but get your hopes up, but they're not going to win it. I'm putting my money on Spain. France aren't at the races yet, but Mbappe ain't playing. Croatia went out last night. Awful. I do like the way Croatia played, but Jesus Christ, Italy. You got yourself out of the shit there. The Georgians have gone home, which is a shame. So have the Albanians. again, a shame. But, you know, this is how it is. This is how it is. So I'll be up. No, what I've just said in the last 20, 25 minutes, you can ignore, because I'll be up at 4 o'clock. I'll be up watching England playing shite. I'll be up watching England just scraping through. Well, they're not just scraping through because they're already through. So even if they do play shite, there's no jeopardy to it. So it's not even going to be fun. I might watch other game. I might watch the Denmark game. Yeah, football. It's the most enjoyable game in the world. I love football. Look how it makes me. Look how it fucking makes me. Anyway, so before I have a stroke or heart attack or fucking both, I'm gonna get off. Now you'll probably get this tomorrow morning after England have played dismally, and you can send me your messages taking the piss. I expect it. So I'll see you when I see you. Spain to win it. Adios, my friends, and thank you all for tuning in. 150 episodes. I'm as fucking surprised as you are. See you soon.